We're an ultra social species, so our mindset is contagious. So that's why people set is so important, because people set will stabilize mindset. So if you're with people who are bringing you down, if you're with people who don't believe in that you can get to be, then you can't. You actually have to change, bring in some new people into your people set. And you can close your eyes, because these are now in you, and allow your body to be both relaxed and alert. You can allow your eyes to close. And look back. We're going to go way back. We're going to go back into the decades of your life and look for themes. So I see we have some people that are younger and some people that are older. So for some of you, you'll focus just more on a couple of decades, and others of us will have maybe 6, 7 decades to cover. And what you're looking for as you look back through the decades of your life is we're looking for your essential nature. So the you that can't be changed is your fractal. So the you that maybe was misunderstood, especially early in life, or maybe was misunderstood in various decades of life or periods of time in life, or had a harder time connecting, but was true to you, just look for that. So it's the you that transcends culture. It's you, the you that transcends the sort of paradox of personality that's required for any age group. It's the true you. And just ask yourself, what are the characteristics of the true you? Who are you? Who have you always been? What is your nature? And as you receive yourself, you sit in yourself. This is Svasta, seated in the self. So we're all the universal and the individual. And we're actually tuning into our individual nature right now. So not just zoning in, those of you who go non-dual really easily and end up in unity consciousness, like, yes, good, and unique you. Who are you? And what is your dharma consistently? Like the dharma that actually doesn't change. There's going to be a pattern. There's things that you're naturally attuned to, naturally interested in. And so as you tune in, just allow, like even breathe yourself in. And some of you might just find you just exhale, like, oh, like you're letting go of just not needing to be anyone besides you. You're magnificent. And we need you. There's a reason your fractal is you. And so seeing back, see where it's going. Like, where is it going way out in the next decade? Where is it going? Where does it want to go? Even if only 20% of who you've become gets to go to that level, what is the essential 20% that's made it through all the decades? That's going through a huge leap, a 10x. And zone in on that. That's the fractal. That's the 20% that's going into the future. And what are you leaving behind? What no longer needs your attention, your energy? Just feel what it would feel like to let that go, to no longer need to put your energy, your attention into what now will just be the drama, will be the past self, will be the status quo. You don't have to uphold who you've been. You can take the best and put it into becoming. And it frees up all that time and space, that 80% that gets freed up. This is what you get to apply your energy and attention to, the critical issues that come into focus to manifesting who you'll be in the future. So we're not just going to wish it to become true. We're going to be willing to be strategic, to grow skillfully, to learn. What are you going to need to learn? What are the skills, the tools? Who do you need to be around? Who's already at the levels ahead of you? That's your people set. See who these are, even if it's just an energetic, or if it's a placeholder category, if it's a specific individual, bring that into focus. If your mind edits because it can't figure out how, you're solving the wrong problem. We're on what? We're not on how. How comes later. So just who and what, not how. Who's already where you want to be next, specific to your 4 aims. Imagine yourself with them, receiving mentoring, guidance, receiving appreciation for being willing to grow. What is the mindset that you're going to need to have in order to ascend, to 10x, to refine your fractal at the next level? And what are the tools you're going to need? Maybe some of these tools you already have. Maybe some of these tools you're afraid of. Maybe your past personality has been resistant. But personality isn't permanent, and tools can be learned at any age. And then finally, see the next year, see 2025. What do you want to have experienced? So if it's a year from now and we're looking back, who have you become? What's changed? What's your new normal? What's your new floor that you're standing on? What was the hard part? What did you have to come to grips with? Or it simply wouldn't have happened? And continue looking back to see the thread from the past into the future. What were your critical issues in 2024? What were your challenges? What did you overcome? What is incomplete? What is halfway cooked? And what progress have you made? All right. And so now I'd just like you to open your eyes and pick up your pen and write. So I'm going to set our timer for 3 minutes. And you're just going to want to capture whatever came through, whatever seems important to capture. Your essential nature, your dharma, what you're here to do, what you need to uphold to experience fulfillment. What are your recurring critical issues? Where do you get stuck? Where are you going next? What's in process? What's in closure? Can you give future you a name? Can you label the identity? What is your new floor or your next floor so that you have a standard? What's the next standard? Can you label the past identity on the past standard? So then we'll look at today as A. We'll look at a year from now as B. So what specifically in 2025, like what will happen? And again, if we go to this law of Kidlin, if you write a problem down clearly and specifically, you have solved half of it. Like where exactly do you want to be a year from now? What do you want to have experienced? What is your new reality in terms of artha, kama, dharma, moksha? So specificity here matters. The way you know you're specific enough is someone else would know that it's changed, that you've arrived. Someone else could objectively measure that you've arrived. You can't personally measure. We're not subjective enough. Too biased. And we understand that A isn't really A. Like A relies on all of your past evolutions. So yay on that. You're not starting from zero. You're starting with a lot. And then finally, what are your critical issues? This is like the no BS. This is like not time for rose-colored glasses. This is not time for Pollyannish thinking. What are your critical issues? Getting from A to B. Critical issues are going to show up in 4 main ways. We call them the 4 sets. Mindset. So if you doubt yourself, if you live in fear, if you worry, if you live in drama, any of those things are a critical issue. You're not going to get there. You're not with people who have done it. So if you're not with people who are already at B or C, it's actually usually much better to be with people who are at C, because for them getting to B is really easy, right? Like you've been there, done that, done it 100 times. So being with people who are ahead of you and then people who are a few steps ahead of you, right? Really important. What are the skills that you have at B that you don't have at A? And then what are the tools? Tools are changing really fast right now. Now, you can't just have a tool without having the skill to use a tool. So these two are related. Mindset. Does anyone ever notice, like when you're around, like you're in a situation like this, it's really easy to have elevated thinking because you're with people that are experiencing elevated thinking. Whereas when you're with people that are maybe more addicted or maybe actually bringing consciousness lower, it's easy to actually lose traction in your own mindset. We're an ultra social species, so our mindset is contagious. So that's why people set is so important, because people set will stabilize mindset. So if you're with people who are bringing you down, if you're with people who don't believe in that you can get to be, then you can't. You actually have to change, bring in some new people into your people set. And this is why masterminds, this is why clubs are so important. So those of you in Wellness Pro Academy who are guiding a club, this is why clubs work. Right? You're elevating their mindset and their people set. You're teaching them new tools and skills, essential tools and skills.